welcome to another edition of the Premier Edge podcast presented by PBP Web Design with your friendly neighborhood web designer. I'm James Durkin, host, owner, and operator, and I am here today with a very special guest. I am honored. I am privileged, actually, to have this man on set today. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Smith. Ryan, welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming, man. I mean, to get in touch with you it's like I said, it's an honor because you are a very busy man. You do a lot of different things. We're going to touch base on all the things you actually do for you as a business owner and the community and the country as a whole in just a few moments. But before we get into that, let the audience know who you are, what the name of your company is, and what you specialize in.
Yeah, definitely. So Ryan Smith, and I am a native of Illinois, but live here in Florida now. So my businesses are Omega Palms Insurance Solutions and Omega Palms Business Solutions. Yeah, and I specialize in 1099 group health insurance.
Okay.
I do life insurance, but we use it as an infinite banking / tax-free retirement. So we leverage that pretty good. We also do retirement seminars. Specialize with that, just making sure that people don't outlive their money. And also payment processing. And that's pretty cool stuff.
Payment processing. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. Before we get into the payment processing piece, because that's relatively one of your newer services, if I recall, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about what got you into insurance to begin with. Because for those of you who don't know, this is a military legend in the making right here, Mr. Smith. So walk me through the journey, like from military to insurance to merchant services. How does one fall into that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I would say pretty cool, but it's a different story. So I joined the Army National Guard when I was 17. I went to Iraq when I was 18. Came back, did a little bit of college, and then I got hired as a police officer in Iowa. And I was a police officer for 11, 12 years. Got burnt out doing it. Mm-hmm. And I was actually Googling one day a Monday through Thursday job with no nights, weekends, no holidays.
Okay.
And insurance came up. And I was like, yeah, I can definitely get behind that. I can definitely help people, get the protection that they need and go from there. And a little backstory with health insurance and life insurance, like health, I was a victim of health insurance, thinking something would get covered, and it wasn't. So
of course,
I paid thousands of dollars out of pocket. And then life insurance, I've seen all these families, asking for money when a loved one, passed away prematurely, and there was no, they lost that income too. So that's definitely a big thing where I love to help people, have that peace of mind and make sure that they are covered if something were to happen, with a breadwinner or somebody that has the income that the family relies on.
The unexpected tragedies and insurance it's not one of those fun topics to talk about, but it is important, right? It is something that everybody needs to at least be aware of and be, should have some of their own. If you don't, well, obviously you know who to talk to now. But I want to talk more about the journey. Like, you were looking for that 9 to 5, that Monday through Friday, that Monday through Thursday, the weekends off thing, which I totally get, right? Was this something you were just Googling one day and you were like, did you talk to friends about it? Did you have any contacts in the industry that kind of turned you into this actual idea of insurance? Or was it just something that, oh, there it is, let's do it?
Yeah. So the Google search was the big thing.
Okay.
And then I actually knew a friend of mine that was in insurance at the time. And I asked him about it. And he's like, oh, yeah, you do great with it. Everybody loves you. Like, you can, talk to anybody. Like, you got this. Like, come on over and we'll get you settled. So, yeah, I did that for a little bit with him. And then I got deployed for the third time. That's when I met my current wife now.
Okay.
Megan, and she lived in Florida. So I moved to Florida after that deployment, but then I got into just doing health and life at that time.
Gotcha. Good reason to move, by the way.
Yes.
So you mentioned Megan, your wife. Any children?
Yeah, I have a 3-year-old daughter named Sailor.
Nice.
She's
Very
scary
cool.
smart.
Scary smart. Oh,
Yeah.
I got one of those too. It's a never a dull moment, right?
Yeah,
So
it's something new every day.
absolutely. So you met while you're in the military, then?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Talk to us a little bit about that one a little bit more.
Yeah. So when I left the police department, I was a canine officer,
Okay.
and I had to pay for my canine to take her with me.
Okay.
So my aunt Tracy actually started a GoFundMe,
Nice.
and they raised the funds in like 2 days, so like a
Dang.
little over $8,000. And the local news did a story on it. So when I was on deployment, Megan actually just reached out to me through Facebook because she's seen the story, and she's an animal lover, most biggest heart animal lover that I've
Biggest.
ever known.
Absolutely.
Um, and we talked every day since, and that was 7 months of deployment that we talked every single day. So when I came home, she was there, and she's like, "I live in Florida," and I was like, "Well, I guess I'm moving."
Hint, hint, hint. Right. So that's an awesome story. No, and obviously, those women that are animal lovers are they're special, right? And most women actually I find are. I find myself even uh, becoming more animal intelligent, I guess, for lack of a better term, right?
Hmm.
I was never big into the whole wildlife thing, but recently, um, being where I live, I'm starting to come to more of an awareness, if you will. But no, that's an awesome thing that having someone there that's talking to you while you're away and whatnot. So that's very cool. That's a cool story. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. So jumping into OPI, first of all, what does OPI stand for?
Omega Palms Insurance Solutions.
Why that name? Is there a significance?
Yeah, so it's kind of a take on my wife's name, Megan.
Okay.
So like Omega. Like one day we were just talking about boat names,
Right.
being down here in
Right.
Florida. Um, and I do like the Greek alphabet.
Hmm.
And Omega is has a kind of like a strong, you know, I
A
guess
strong
symbol.
presence to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then Palms is just we love Florida. Like we
Makes
love the
sense.
tropical area. Like this is our place.
Super
So
cool.
yeah, Omega Palms it is.
Okay. All right. I'm seeing it now. Okay. Very cool indeed. All right. So I want to talk to you about the specialties in which that you offer. Obviously, group insurance is something that you want to touch base on. But on top of that, I know we do the merchant services. But before we jump into all this, you mentioned being in the service, and I mentioned that during the intro as well. Talk to us about that. What is your title? What does it mean? And what are your most passions that are wrapped around that?
Yeah. So one, I love serving my country. It's a
Thank you.
privilege being
For sure.
in the military. It's a privilege wearing the uniform and doing the job. And right now, I've just selected as the new command sergeant major for our infantry battalion, 133rd Infantry Regiment.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Yep, thank you. Yeah, it was exciting. It's definitely one of the largest goals I've had with the military.
Hmm.
And with being a command sergeant major, like you have an influence over a lot of guys. Like you're the senior enlisted advisor to the battalion commander, and your primary job as a command sergeant major is development of your soldiers and your organization. Uh, and the best thing I like is making sure that people learn from my mistakes, and I can teach that to the soldiers.
Yes.
But also giving them like a different level on the civilian side. Using that military to learn a lot, and then take it over to the civilian side where they're successful. You know they're smart on finances, and they're using the resources that they have to them. So that's a big passion of mine, is making sure that they develop and have that environment of learning.
That's huge. That's huge. And that's something that I think a lot of business owners can relate to as well. Some of that training and developing of talent, if you will. It's easier said than done, though, right? So of course you got those barricades, those obstacles to come through in the military, just like you do in life. Um, Talk to me a little bit more in regards to the military transition into what you're doing now. Obviously, there's a lot of cross parallels there, right? You're developing talent in the military. I'm not sure if you have a team or not, but talk to the audience. Is there a team involved with OPI? Is it just you? What does that look like from a consumer standpoint if I'm looking in?
Yeah, so I do have one employee that's on the books.
Very cool.
His name is Dakota. He's amazing, smart, definitely a health insurance professional. He definitely helps out, keeping the business running and growing. And then I also have 1099 agents under me. Those, my thing is to make sure that those agents are not, lost in the wind, coming in as an
Right,
agent.
right, yeah.
Like they have somebody to rely on, ask questions to, and are successful. Because that's the biggest thing with insurance agents, where if they're not successful and they don't have the support, they don't stay.
That's no truer words were ever said. I say that because I have a finance background, as the audience knows if they've been paying attention. But on top of the finance, I got into investment when I was a little younger too, and had a life health variable annuity license, the Series 6, and all that. So I know a little bit about that, and I know how quick the turn is as far as turnover and people who are interested one day and not the next. So it is a challenge. It is absolutely a
Mm-hmm.
challenge. Um, Talk to me about what it is about insurance that you like to offer them. Like obviously you have a variety of services you can provide insurance wise. Which one is your favorite and why?
Ooh, let's see. So I love the Index Universal Life Policy,
Okay, talk to me.
and there's all kinds of different things you can use with that. You can use it as a supplementary tax-free retirement.
Okay.
You can use it as infinite banking, your own banking system. Okay, because like you being in the banking system before, like they only give you a little bit of growth for your
Mhm.
money, and they make a lot of money off of it. But
Okay.
with an Index Universal Life Policy, you can make a lot more than a savings account. Um, you know, and then you have access to it. So there's no penalty to take out before you're 59 and a half. If you need a loan for a house, you got it, in that policy. And like people don't really understand it, and they see a lot of bad things on the internet because it's usually, some agents use it um, that are very trained on it, um, and that can actually ruin somebody's policy and you can
Mm.
actually lose it. But we educate our clients in how to properly use it, and then we structure it the proper way for them to really, not lose it ever and actually work.
Education is key to any success, I believe, in life, right? Well, education when applied, as one of our mentors once said to us. Actually, Mr. Ray Amanat says that often in the USBH networking meetings. Thank you, Ray, if you're watching. But no, knowledge is power when applied is
Correct.
his exact phrase, I believe, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of going back to your idea of educating, giving them there's so much value there as long as they're aware of how it works. So let's talk about some of the risk factors if you're not properly insured, because obviously that's a concern for a lot of people as well. It's not just knowing what is out there, it's what happens if you don't have enough coverage. So walk me through what that could be for someone who is insured but not adequately insured. So what does
Yeah.
that look like?
So we'll start with life insurance.
All right.
So life insurance, I usually ask my clients, I'm like, all right, do you have life insurance? And if they say yes, it's usually through, their employer. And I also ask them like, how much is it? They usually don't know the answer.
Right.
So one thing is awareness. So people have to be aware of what they have and how much. So what we do is supplement that life insurance that they get through their employer with an actual policy, maybe a term policy or a whole life policy,
Mhm.
and making sure that it is enough. So the rule of thumb is 20 years of your income. So
20 years. Okay.
And usually people don't understand that like $1 million policy is somewhat cheap. Like people are thinking, oh, $1 million policy, I'm going to be paying $400 or $500 a month for it.
Right, right.
No, depending on your age, depending on your health, you can be paying anywhere from $50 a month up to $150 a month. Usually in your 30s or 40s, that's the average
Okay.
for that policy. Um, and then also, if they do have a policy too, you have to look to see if there's living benefits in that policy.
Right.
Living benefits is if you are diagnosed with cancer or some kind of critical illness, um, that you can actually get access to that death benefit before you die. To do whatever you want with it.
Okay.
Pay for the bucket list, pay for experimental drugs or treatments, and not every single policy has that.
No, definitely not. And the more you know, the more educated, the more empowered you help your client, the better decisions they can make, right? Which leads me to my next question. Their insurance companies are a dime a dozen around here, right? So that's no secret by any means. Obviously, you are a huge advocate for education, empowerment, knowledge. Outside of that, why would someone want to hire OPI? Let me just put an example out there for you. I'm shopping around. I don't know OPI from Adam, so to speak. I'm just kind of googling things. Why OPI? Why Ryan Smith?
Because we're honest and transparent.
I love it.
It's the biggest thing.
That's the best answer.
Yeah, I've told people, I can sell you this product, but I'm not going to. What you have right now is the best for your situation at this point. If things change, we can actually look at it. So I've actually turned people away and say, I can't do that, or I don't want to do that for you.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's awesome.
glass house.
And I do something similar with my consultations with my clients. Fit is important. It really is. I live by that. So, and it's okay if you're not a fit. Not everybody's going to be, right? Not everybody's a fit for you. Not everybody's a fit for me. That's just the way life works. But no, I definitely love that answer. Knowledge is power when applied. Honesty, transparency. I love it. Now, I want to circle back real quick to the merchant piece because we talked a lot about insurance right now. And I know you're excited to tell everybody a little bit more about the actual merchant side of things. I'm excited that you have this new journey because you're obviously a good person to know when it comes to saving money. And that's key, right? Saving money is important in any line of work. Talk to us more about that. Let the world know, what is OPI up to these days with merchant services?
Yes. So usually with businesses that do accept credit card transactions, are overpaying their payment processing. And what that is like you have a rate per transaction,
Right.
you have a fee with it, but then you have all the back end fees too. Like these are made up name fees. These are fees that the payment processor is just pulling a little more money out of your pocket, to have their service.
Yeah.
So we partnered with Oval Business Solutions Incorporated. They have the lowest rates in the industry.
Okay.
They average 40 to 60% savings on businesses that come to us to do the payment processing, and we have no back end fees whatsoever.
No back end fees.
Yeah, zero.
None.
Yep.
None.
And
Wow.
yeah, and
Okay.
that's why we have clients like Wendy's, Subway, Bass Pro. We have some big ones in talks right now. That one, they were actually searching because they're like, well, we can't find anything better than what we have now. I was like, well, give us a try. We'll show you what we can do. And we actually saved them 30%, and $3 million later that they are saving, they are leaning towards coming, over to us.
That's fantastic. Wendy's and Subway, he's just flexing now, guys. That's all he's just showing off. No back end fees. That's unique in its own right because I've, again, being a former banker, I've worked with third party vendors in the past, and there's always some kind of fee in the back end. So I have to talk a little bit more about that. when we have some more time with that. But no, that's good to know. And again, once again, knowledge is power, right? So that's why we do this. So merchant services, how long have you been doing that now? Because I know that's relatively newer to you.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a time frame. How long has it been?
It's been about 3 full months now.
Okay. All right. Clearly you're liking it and doing something right with it. So
Yeah.
Now, let's say I'm not with OPI. With, I don't know, what's a good example? Square, right? We all use Square at some point or another. I'm with Square, and I'm shopping around. I'm looking. What would be the outside of the obviously the savings? Is there any other benefits to it outside of saving money? Because it's more than just saving money. It's having what representation, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about what a consumer would get with you in regards to if they come across an issue with merchant services. Who do they contact?
Yeah, we have 24/7 support, and it's not overseas. It's actually U.S. based support.
Okay.
So you'll actually get somebody that'll help you. As soon as you call in, somebody that can actually speak with you,
Awesome.
figure out what the situation is. And then also another awesome thing about Oval is the company owners are involved with everything. So when they have a conversation with a business, they're on the phone doing the talking.
The owners are.
The owners are.
You heard it here first, guys. The owners.
Yes.
So I can't tell you how many times I have been involved with a company where I just want to get some kind of manager on the line, let alone an owner, and that doesn't seem to happen. So that's a phenomenal piece to end that piece off with. Now, Ryan, before we go ahead and conclude this particular episode, we've covered a lot of information here already. Talk to me about any upcoming events, certain announcements that you want to share with the audience that's watching. Is there anything that you want the world to be known, to be aware of that you're involved with?
Yeah. So we do the retirement seminars for usually, people that are getting ready for retirement and are already in retirement. Some huge things are coming with that.
Nice.
So we are in the process of 3 different entities coming together.
Okay. Very cool. Collaboration's good.
Yes. And it's definitely awesome because you don't just get one person to look at your retirement plan. And it's a free retirement plan, by the way.
Nice.
It's written
Even
down.
better.
Yep. You get a lot of brains on it. One of the big things, I would say, everybody knows Dave Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy that made Dave Ramsey's mentor and business partner, is involved with this 3-entity merger.
Really?
So there's a lot of experience, a lot of technology coming into this, and it's definitely going to benefit our clients in a big way.
We're going to need his name. We're going to there's so many questions. All right. So that's a lot. That's awesome that you got that going on. Now, talk to the audience. How can someone get in touch with Ryan Smith with OPI if they want to get in touch with you? How can they do it? What's the best contact method?
Yeah, best contact method. You can either do email or text message. Email is info@opisolutionsusa.com. And phone numbers. So if it's health insurance, 727-232-4050. And then life insurance, merchant processing, it's 309-371-8069.
A lot of juggling.
Yeah.
A lot of information. Don't worry if you didn't catch that. His contact details will be in the description below the actual episode. So, Ryan, I want to thank you again for taking time out of your busy day to join us on the Premier Edge podcast. There's a lot of information that we got in a very short period of time. I can probably go on another 45 minutes here just asking you many, many more questions. But for the sake and respect of everyone's time, I'll go ahead and cut you loose here. Thank you so much for taking time again. Yeah. Thank you for your service and everything you do for this great country that we live in. And I look forward to seeing how that journey prospers for you, my friend. Thank you for coming aboard.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for our next episode. More great local guests coming soon. I'm James Durkin. This is Ryan Smith, and this has been the Premier Edge podcast. Thank you all for watching.